We finished restoring your late 1950s or early 1960s Nishijin Model A single ball Pachinko machine, and this quick start guide will show you how to set it up and play. Then we'll also have several tips and tricks for troubleshooting your machine. The first thing we'll do is we'll show you how to put glass in your machine. You'll slide it from the top. This machine doesn't have a door, and before you slide it in the top there's a lever that you have to make sure is pulled out. I'm going to zoom in and then I will get over there and show you. Pull this down. You can see this piece of plastic here. It has a notch in it, so I have to pull it off the notch and then it spring loads to lock in place. So before you slide your glass in, it needs to be pulled out and slid over. Then you can slide your glass in. After you slide it in, just slide it back over to the left and it'll lock it in place. Okay, just from the front, I just have a sheet of plexiglass here, but you'll just feed it through a slot in the top, and you may want to even catch it as it's coming down. That way you can kind of help guide it down into position. I'm going to take it out because I'll actually be dropping balls in and show you jackpots here in a minute. From the top of the machine, checking. Okay, so here you want to make sure that this is flipped down. Kind of spring loaded. It just pops up and down. You also have a part over here with a spring on it, and the spring is on kind of a big staple, and you just need to slide that down, and when you slide it up the part moves up and down, so you need that to be oh, actually you want it up. That needs to be in the up position for play. Last thing to reset is your seesaw right here, your one ball seesaw. Just pivot it so that the right side is in the up position. Now we'll pour some balls into the top supply tray, and with these older machines it's best to kind of pour them in slow. Add a few balls to the play tray up here. And then we'll want to take these buckets, and you'll have two buckets. You'll want to set them both in the back to catch balls as they fall out the back. Now to play, you'll just take one of the balls from your tray, you'll drop it in through this hole. It rolled across this ramp, and now it's ready to shoot. So you just pull your flipper all the way down, and then you let go, and when you do it, it'll shoot it up the play field. And we didn't have the glass on, so I just shot it out into the room. But if you had the glass in there, that's when it would go up and bounce off all of it. The very first time you load the machine in the back, you've loaded that top tray, but there aren't any balls in the jackpot assembly yet. So the very first jackpot you get won't actually pay out. It'll just be loading that assembly. So you could either force a jackpot by dropping a ball in like I'm getting ready to do, or just play knowing that the very first jackpot nothing will happen. I'll drop one in the top. Okay, now this is loaded. I'm going to drop one in over here. Okay, the ball's in here, fell down, hit a couple bells in back, and then the ball's jackpot paid out here. No matter which one of these it goes into, it's the same exact jackpot. Now there's a hole up here in the main attraction, so you could have a ball drop down and go inside of your main attraction area and fall through to the ground. And again, it's just a jackpot just like any others. Now if you keep playing and getting jackpots, eventually you'll run out of balls. Okay, I just got a jackpot and it didn't pay out. So if ever that happens, you need to stop right away. Probably all you need to do is turn around and add balls to your top supply tray. But there could be balls there, they just may not be rolling down the track. Let's turn it around and take a look. Okay, I did check the supply tray. There was just a couple of loose balls. I rolled them down, but mainly the tray was empty, and I could even see here through the turn there aren't any balls here. And the main thing is, right here, there are two brass arms that are hitting up against this brass lever here. So what that's doing is it's stopping the jackpot from paying out because those two arms are in the way. As soon as I add some balls to the supply tray, they'll roll across and they'll move those arms out of the way. I'll go ahead and do that. Okay, it moved those arms out of the way, allowing all the other arms to move and pivot and pay out the jackpot. If anytime you get a jackpot and it doesn't pay out, if you stop and immediately address whatever the issue is, add balls to the supply tray, usually is all you need to do, then you'll never encounter this. This is your jackpot holding area. And so in pachinko parlors, it would allow customers to keep playing, and if they won but there wasn't any balls to pay out, they could continue to play, and they would hold their winnings right here until an attendant came by and filled up the machine. And when they filled up the machine, then all these balls could be paid out. So I'm going to add some here. And you saw it roll across through this tube. It's 1, 2. Those two didn't roll down because the brass part was bent slightly. All that soft metal, that brass, very touchy. So anyway, I just bent it a little bit. Now I can drop these in. And they'll just keep filling up in there. Now I'll turn it around. We'll add balls to the top tray. Then I'll show you how to empty these out of here. Okay, right here we have the seesaw. And this curved part up here is what I had to bend just slightly. Anyway, so that's the wrong position. Actually, it doesn't matter for this. Right over here, there is a brass plate, and it's got a slide in it that goes up and down. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab in the middle, and I'm going to slide up. And when I do it, what it's going to do is it's going to grab one of those balls out of that holding area and send it through the cycle to be paid out. So it's catching the ball under here, and it's sliding across and then entering in. We'll do that and get all the rest of them out. Okay, and I can see that I need to add some more balls to the top. Okay, great. Now we got to empty out the machine. You want to make sure that this is slid down. So if it's slid down, it's ready to empty. Then we're going to lift this lever up, and then all the balls will pour out and they'll go down this chute. So make sure you got a bucket at the bottom of that chute. Okay, and you just want to double tap the tray, see if you've got any loose balls in there. Great. And now let me show you how to empty out the jackpot. These are all brass parts here. And one thing that you need to know is that this part here, sometimes it can get on the outside of this part. Usually only when someone's pulling on it. But what happens is you get a jackpot, this part pivots, pushing this linkage here, and when it pushes that linkage up, it allows balls in the jackpot to fall out. So I'm just going to pivot this down, and you saw how it pushed that up to let balls out. Okay, that got all the balls out of the jackpot. Those balls in the jackpot, they just fell down, hit the bells, and went out to the front. You could have pushed this plate here in, and if you pivot that in, when you get a jackpot, the balls will shoot out the back here instead of going to the front. You really don't need this for home use. That was mainly for the pachinko parlors when they were working on the machine and they didn't want the payout to go to the customer. They could flip this and catch the balls in back. Go ahead and reset that. Okay, that concludes this quick start guide. We sure hope you enjoy your machine.